Well, this is Baruch here. Let me see if I can find this. There it is. Parshat Pinchas. Daf Reish Lamed Aleph Amud Beis. Now, we just went through a little piece over there. And we're going to go to a new little piece here. It's all about Rosh Hashanah. This is the Zohar itself. And we learn with the Matak B'Devash, but we also want to pay some attention to just, I like to just read the Zohar and try to see what the words are saying. There's a lot behind the words, and the Matak B'Devash will bring it out as much as he possibly can. So let's see what we got and get down lower. Down here at the bottom, do I have light? Light on? Oh, that's the light on. Okay. He writes down here, the Matak B'Devash adds something, and I made a mistake yesterday because, I'm slow to get into these holidays. I'm doing something else, and my mind is in a different place, and then comes along Rosh Hashanah, and I can't remember which are the Tekiyas, and which is the Shivarim, and which is the Teruos. Yesterday, I think I said it backwards. The Shivarim are like a Yololo. It's a three-sound, boom, womp, boom, womp, boom, womp, like that. And the Terua is like a staccato, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So the argument over here is which one was the Rafa, which one is considered to be the weak one, the one that represents not such a strong din, and which one is the powerful din. So this is going to talk about this a little bit in this Zohar today. But to start with, he writes like this: Hine kan kosav shashvarim heim din Rafa v'hatrua is a din kosher. Okay, so the true is like that. It's like smacking you over and over and over and over again, and the other one is a wailing sound. So he says Amdacha b'shar kavanos, and he says, where do you see this at the end of the 8th drush over there about the shofar? Before the hafoch, it says the opposite. What does it say? Shashvarim heim din kasha v'heim b'leah. Now we say that the din kosher is Leah, and I don't know if we're going to go into this right now. Vatruahu din rafia, and the din, that is, which is weaker, is in Rocha. V'ayin b'ramaz, so this is the opposite, or the Eter Tzvi, overlook over there, different places where people have talked about this. Now, let's look at the Zohar itself. And what I'm going to do is the same thing I did in the last year. This is a nighttime shir for me, and I'm trying to get my schedule so I can do as much as I can to get as close as I can to the Ein Sof Baruch Hu Hashem Yisparach. And I know that he's reaching out towards me, and I'm just a very impoverished person, but I would like very, very much to be better. So he says pasuk v'omer. So the pasuk, there's a pasuk in to sacred Sefer Tehillim. And it says, Tika b'chodesh shofar b'kesa the yom chagenu. Now, they translate it over there in the art scroll, is that blow, lushing of blowing the shofar. B'chodesh shofar, on the chodesh of the shofar. Now, it is true that Rosh Hashanah is the first day of the new year. It's the first of Tishrei. B'kesa, at the appointed time, that's why they translate the yom chagenu for the day of our holiday. So now the Zohar wants to look at this a little bit more closely. And it says like this. Typical b'chodesh shofar. It asks this question on this pasuk: what does the word chodesh mean? Da be'dina rafia de'ikre chodesh. So he says this refers to the more minor din, the lesser din, which is called chodesh. Chodesh b'kesa, at the appointed time. Now he writes in the parenthesis, I'm trying to understand this, case, which means a throne, the alma yilor case ka. So case means the throne for the upper world. This usually refers to the Keser area, or the Chabad of Olam Abriya. Here, though, he says something else. The case, which is a throne, which means a receptacle, the Alma Law case Ka. It's the case of the Malchus of Atzilus, whatever the hay means. And he says, what is this case, this throne? If you didn't know it, it's Pachad Yitzchak. Yitzchak is the aspect of the Jewish people which can fight. Not only fight, but is very, very strong. very, very big into justice and corrections. That's din. This time is called, that's where this throne is located. So his is the case, the Malka law. This is the throne for the upper king. Tu Bekese. So first of all, then it said Bekese, and so that's further how they say it. Bekese, which is the case, the throne of Hashem. Dod dina kasha pachad Yitzchak. So here we're talking about a very strict din. The din which is the fear of Yitzchak. Dinda is kasya tadir. So it's a din which is continuously covered up. The love ihu dinda be'izgalia, because it's a din that doesn't come out. It stays bottled up. Ki chok do dinarafia, because the word chok, which is, let's say, tiku b'chodesheva, because of the other tiku b'chodesheva b'chok, because of chok which appears in another part of the pasuk. He says do dinarafia. It's a weaker din. Mishpat do dina. So when we use the word mishpat, it refers to dina, a din, barachami, mixed in with rachmim. So it's a dinah, he writes in the parenthesis, kasha, to try to let you know that it's a tough din, but it's mixed in with a little rachmanas, v'tavayhu inin kachada, and they both wind up coming together. Begin koch, trin yomim. So this is the reason why we have 2 days. That is, he's going back to the concept of 2 types of dinim, v'tavacha b'razachada, and both of them are one secret. Ashrei am yodea srua, so happy is the man who knows how to blow, the gomer, etc. He says, and he gives a site reference, lo kasiv shomei, happy is the man who hears, lo tokev trua, or a person that blows, eli yodea trua, but he says a person who knows what the trua is. Now, the question is what's that? Begin, kagon, like he said, for example, Hakimin the Dairin Ba'arva the Ira Kadisha, those are the wise men who live in the air of the Holy Land. Ini Yodea Trua, these are the people that know how to blow. Rather the Trua Kamet Dachsev Trua B'Shevet Barzel, that it's a Trua, it's with a iron, a Trua which represents an iron rod. Man Amaka Yisrael, where is there people like the Jews? The Yadin Rosani Loga the Merechum that understand the upper secrets of their master. Lamei al Kamei, to go up by him. And to tie himself to them. Because in the Yodoy of Rosa the Trua, and all those who know the secret of the Trua. Yiskarvo lemechach b'or panav de kutra barichu, they will be zocha, and they will come near, and this is what we all want. Lemechach, to travel or to walk, b'or panav, in the light of the face of the kutra barichu, which is a bright, wonderful light of tremendous illumination. V'do or kademoah, the ganas kutra barichu, the tzedikaya. So this is that old story. This is the hidden light that the Kodesh Baruch Hu hid for the tzeddikim in the world to come, v'alda itztrek leminda law, so therefore it's necessary to know it. Well, let's find out what the Matak Medavash says is the proper translation of this. Now, somebody asked me, why do I make so many shiurim? So the reason why is not that I'm trying to make shiurim, but the level that I want to work on in the United States right at this time, are very few people that are learning this. Or people that want to, let's say, perhaps, but they don't have the tools for it, because they haven't learned enough of the language to be able to make it possible. So what it is that I'm out here by myself, because who do I have to learn with? I've had some tremendous chavrusas, and I still do. But mean to say that to really go into the Zohar and start working on it, I don't have anybody to learn that with right now. We need that. We need it tremendously. Everybody agrees that the coming of the Mashiach will come through the learning of the Zohar. So here, let's come over and see. So let me see. Excuse me, I'm in the wrong place. Pasuk Rebbe Shimon began to speak. Now let me get a little bit better focus here. So he said, "V'omer the farish masha kasav tiku b'chodesh shofar liyom chagenu." He named masha kasav, so he says that once again, repeating, what is the phrase chodesh mean? V'omar, let's skip to we're staying on the light print. Zehu din harafa hanikra chodesh. This is the weaker type of din. What we're getting into is really what's the difference between a strong din. Well, we understand 39 lashes is too much. More than 39 is too much. But one lash, on the other hand, or 5 lashes, is a lot different. So we're talking about punishments here, or restrictions. It's more like it. This is a v'hainu so the rochel. Rochel is the din rafia, hu inyan chidesh yareach, which is the same idea of the renewal of the moon, which is the same word as chodesh. He said, and then it says the phrase was v'kasa do din kasha. When you say the word kasha, kasa means case ko. He says it refers to the hard din. Zehu din kasha hanikra pachad Yitzchak, which is called the fear of Yitzchak. Hainu sod Leah shehi din kasha. This is the secret of Leah. Leah represents the din kasha ka'ayin the gevura the zer anpin, like she's similar to the gevura zer anpin. The gevura zer anpin is called pachad Yitzchak, the fear of Yitzchak. That's very interesting that right now there's a war between Yishmael, and that's the Arabs, and the Jews, which is Yitzchak and Yishmael, going way back, almost 4,000 years ago. This fight is still going on. What's the fight? So the fight is between which kind of din that we're dealing with. How are we, in fact, going to deal with it? Yitzchak destroys everything in his path. On the other hand, Yishmael is sneaky. Shmuel is perverted, but he's sneaky. Din de iskasya tavid. This din, the din of Leah, is a din which is mechusatamid. Ki Leah hi alma de iskasya, she's called the world of closedness. Now what it actually means is that the light of Leah is really produced through the light of Bina, of the lower level of Bina. It goes through inside of Zer Anpin, through the walls of Bina, through the wall of the Yesod of Bina, which is going into the neck area of Zer Anpin, let's say. But then it has to go through, first it goes through Abba, then it goes through Ima, then it has to go through Zer Anpin, and then through Zer Anpin it has to go out into Zer Anpin, and then out of Zer Anpin to be able to get to the Nukva. And by that time, the din that we're dealing with, which is actually the left side of the light of Abba Ve'ima, comes through the Zer Anpin. It comes through the Nuk. But that's a din Rafia. It has to go through layers. On the other hand, we'll see that Rachel is a whole different kind of situation. The law of Ihu din is Galia, because it's not a din that you ever see. Shu enu din begilu masha kosef ki chok. It's a chok. What's chok mean? Da din Rafia refers to a weaker din. Zed din Rafa v'hainu Rachel. Who's the din Rachel? It's Rachel. Why? She's called the world to Isgalia because the Sod of Ima ends at the chest of Zer Anpin, and that's the place of the height that is the skull of the Nukva, of Malchus. That's where she's pegged onto Zer Anpin. Then it says Mishpat. It says Mishpat da din kasha zecha b'din kasha v'hainu sod Leah, which is Leah. So understand, he's saying these two ideas. One is Rachel, one is Leah. Two different dinim. Now the meaning of the dinim and how we can get out of the dinim is a whole other story. V'tavaychu ina kachada, and both of them are like one. V'shnechem Rachel v'Leah v'hem b'yachad. K'mitzlavshun zu b'zu, because they're clothed inside of each other. Because, as we said before, that the feet of Leah are inside of the head of Rachel. Begin kach, and for this reason, the Cain, Rosh Hashanah hu shnei yomeh, has to be 2 days. V'shnechem b'chein b'sod echad b'sod, they're really only one secret. B'sod the kiyas v'nesira v'od, and the whole thing, that is the kiyas, the blowing, which is a sweetener. The Nesira, which is the time of the actual removal of the Nukva from Zer Anpin. Now remember, I've seen apparently what the rabbis are saying is that Rosh Hashanah is the first day of the world. It's the day, that is, it's the first day of Adam and Eve. And so they were originally born together with one body. The whole spiritual, this is a spiritual story, not a physical story. You could understand it physically too if you want to, but the story is really a story of something which is not material at the point of their creation. They made it more material. That's their choice. That was the choice. That is the choice of our fathers before us. And we have to live with that choice. Now the Zohar says like this, Umasha Kosav Ashrei Ha'am Yodea Serua V'Gom, etc. Happy is the man who knows how to blow. And the Zohar says, he says, Lo Kasiv Shomei, the one who listens to it, O Tokei, or one who blows it, Teruah, Ela Yodea Teruah. What does knowing Teruah mean? So he says, Tamhu, and this is the Mata Gudavas, Vash, the Visharaka Hahomem Hadarim Beyoshem Ba'aver Shel Eretz Yisrael Gadusha. You have to be a very strong person to be Zeicha to live in the land of Israel. Ahem Yodaya Trua, those are the people that know how to blow. He says, Sod HaTruahu, so the secret of the Trua is this, Kamosha Kosev, Ratzon Alobisha Al Yedech HaTrua, because when you blow the shofar, Shovim es kochos hamaktarogim, you break the powers of those who come to accuse you and criticize you. Ha'ochsim b'barbel and barzel, and we are talking about that ability to be holding on to an iron rod to break it. A Masik Rebbe Shimon is the Vara v'Omer. So Rebbe Shimon is now going to come to the conclusion, and he says like this: Mihu am Yisrael sheyodim sodas al yonim shal Rabbonim. Who are those Jews that know the upper secrets of their master? That is our Zohar, which is our poetic entryway. Sha'al Yedei Zeh, by learning the sodos that we're learning here in the Zohar. They can come before him then. These souls can come before, tie themselves to him. So all of those who know the secret of the Teruah, they should come close to be able to walk in the light of the face of a Kodesh Baruch Hu. In Kabbalah, there's a whole concept of face, front, and back. The creation of the concept of front and back. I'll just take a moment and think about the fact that you're on a ball that's flying through space. In space itself, only here on this ball because of the gravity of Malchus, where we're constantly pulled down onto the earth, and eventually we'll be swallowed by it because that's our home, really where we come from. But in space itself, beyond this physical world, there isn't any up or down or right or left. So it had to be created, really. Created for this world. And in this world, there is an up and there is down. So he says, what's up? L'lachas ba'or panav, the face. Because the face is the front, where God's light will shine on you directly of a Kodesh Baruch Hu. So then he says like this, Shazehu or Rishon, this is the first light. Shagan is a Kodesh Baruch Hu, Tzadikim, the Aseh Devo, that a Kodesh Baruch Hu hid away for tzaddikim, for the people who really want that light in the world to come. He said, "V'aldo it itzrich leminda." So from this, you have to know this. Leminda law. V'al kain tzarichan ledas as sod hatrua. So therefore, you have to know the secret of the trua. V'zech shekaz of Hashem ba'or pa'anecha yahalecho, and that's what is written in this pasuk. Hashem, Kodesh Baruch Hu, Ba'or panecho, in the light of your face, Yahalchun, they will walk. This is Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun, Elevator, Kolel.